Welcome back to another Dadam Reacts. We're gonna go ahead and watch this trailer for Viggo Mortensen's "The Dead Don't Hurt." Um, Looks like it's a western. Eventually, it takes place in Australia. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see if he's going back home. If it's just gonna be in the wild, wild west, which I'm already gonna be down for,
Please stay tuned as we attempt to
because I
convene
love
the devil.
westerns. Good ones, bad ones.
No, Weston!
Wild West.
Damn you, Weston! God damn it!
So where are you from? Vivienne Lecoudi.
It's a very long story.
I have plenty of time.
I can't tell where his accent's from.
Why did you go to San Francisco?
Written and directed by
To see
him. Nice.
the end of the world.
This is it? The place you chose of all the places you have seen. No flowers, no garden at all. You live like a dog.
A happy dog. You have to tell me where you want me to plant your trees.
You're still a dog.
Can I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen? I am Sergeant Webb of the California Regiment. We need volunteers who want to fight to save the Union. We're looking for men of honor.
Thinking about enlisting.
This is not your problem. This is not your country.
It's the right thing to do, fighting against slavery.
We have a life together now. It is only beginning.
I guess it's like a French accent.
You cannot make things right with a consolation prize.
No sense being all alone on a night like this.
No different than any other. I am fine, Mr. Jeffries.
No, you most certainly are.
It makes no sense for you to be here now, Weston.
Is there gonna be a problem, Mr. Schiller?
I don't believe so, Alfred. I shouldn't have left.
I never wanted to be saved.
So, I mean, I love Vigo. The fact that it's written and directed by him is pretty good. I want to say this might be his directorial debut. I don't know if he's directed anything else. Take a look real quick. Okay, so he's directed two. Oops. Okay. Let me refresh because I hit the wrong button. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so he directed The Following. I don't think I've ever seen this. No, I haven't. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, that's cool to see him start directing. He's a powerhouse, dude. He's so emotionally charged in his movies. Oh my god, The Road was so good. Let me see. I want to see if it says what his accent's supposed to be. I'm thinking it's like a, I don't know, maybe like French Canadian or something. That's weird. They say it's pioneers, but he is not a pioneer. Well, I mean, I guess he is. Starcross lowers motion maybe. Oh, he's Danish. A Danish immigrant. Okay. I don't know. I couldn't really pick up his accent, but okay. I mean, I love westerns. They're just they hit different than most other movies. Uh, I have a weird relationship when it comes to movies that use rape as so the grape. They use that as their unifying story. Like it's I hate that just has to be the plot line for a lot of movies. It sucks because it's a real issue, right? And women have to fight through it all the time, and some men do in some situations. But usually it overtakes the movie and becomes the like it just never gets away from it. And like I trying to remember what the movie was called, but it had think of her name. It was called Irreversible, and it's the most. Oh man, it's such a brutal scene. Like I had to stop watching. Like I had to pause it, and that's a really good thing when you have something like that where it's so visceral or it's so powerful and impactful that um like it can create like it shattered me. And if that's what it did to me, and I wasn't experiencing that, like I could never try and put myself in this as a victim of a crime of that nature. Like any kind of assault like that, it's unfathomable to understand the complexity of what they're going through. So if a movie can make you feel uncomfortable about it, it's doing a really good job. So I mean, I don't think he's going to use it in like I think maybe my issue with it is I've seen so many horror movies that use it in a really bad way, and I hate that. Um, because it's not something that should be used lightly, or it's not should be something that's just like it just becomes a part of it that's just I don't I will I'm gonna say don't. I would almost guarantee that Vigo would not have approached a situation like that without respectfully going about it, um, and not using it as like an exploitive like plot point. Um, so I'm not worried about that, right? Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just like there's horror movies out there that really like they just use it in such a disgusting way where it's not something that needs to be a part of the story. They just use it as like a exploitive way to be like a grindhousey like we're throwing nudity and sexuality in a situation that doesn't need it. Um and that's when I hate it. Like I think that's when it's just it's disgusting and exploitive. Um like Rob Zombie, I like a couple of his movies, but I feel like he does that a lot where he uses like sexual crimes and sexuality in a really like disgusting manner. And I know that's why he's doing it, but it never makes the movie better in my opinion. It always makes it worse. Like it always takes away from it to some degree. Um which I mean it's a hideous thing and it's a thing that occurs in the world and I wish it never did. I wish no one ever had to feel afraid for her body or, um that she's going to be that way, but I also feel like in the same token that if you're going to put it in your movie, you need to put it in your movie in a way that doesn't make it exploitive and is being used to tell a part of the story where it's necessary. Like the way it gets filmed a lot of the times is also where I feel like there's a way where you can film it where it's visceral and it's violent and there's nothing motivated behind it to be attractive. And then I think there's a way where they film it where they try to make it like they try to put a different air on it. And I think if you're trying to do that and you add like a level of perversion to it where it's not being seen for what it should be, I think that's where I disagree with. and that's where I think horror movies really fail in that aspect when they put stuff like that in movies where they, I don't know. That's a different story. But um, it's very Western. It's a revenge. It's a revenge movie, right? Where he goes off to. It's interesting. So it's got a 7 out of 10. So people have seen it. So I guess it's out already. So maybe it's on Amazon or something. So I'll be able to watch it. But like at its core, people are downvoting it, which is like if I just had to go based off it feels like it's jam packing a lot of things into it, um, which is interesting. Where he goes off to stop slavery. It's got violence against women in it. It's a revenge movie, so it's gonna have a lot of. I'm apparently attacked by something. By Diablo 2. Yeah, threat secured. Something probably popped up in ads, but anyways, um, it's like it's just got a lot of things that are really tough subjects that you're trying to make a poignant story over, where you have a story about a immigrant that volunteers to go stop slavery but then gets pulled back early because his wife um has something happen to her. Like it just feels like there's a lot of you're trying to write stories about specific things, but you're picking things that you want to have a lot of power and impact to them, but now you're like you're putting them up against each other, as to where like a story about a immigrant that goes to stop slavery, right? That's very powerful in its right, and that can have a lot of really good moments in it. Um, does it need to also have a story where his wife is being abused on the homestead? And then I don't know. It's probably gonna go. I want to watch it because I can't really say a lot without seeing kind of how the story plays out. But my assumption is, or like what I would gather from that trailer is like he's trying to make something that's really impactful, or it's trying to say a lot of things. And sometimes you try to add too many things when you're trying to say something like that, where it obfuscates the direction in both ways. Right? You don't get enough of one, or you don't get enough of the other. Um, because if that's the story and he goes off, then we're gonna have two fragmented stories where one is him um, fighting to stop slavery, and then you have one where it's her story where this man starts harassing her and then ultimately does, um, you know, does abuse her. So like you're gonna have those two stories and then they come back together at a head at a point. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I love Viggo Mortensen. Um, he directed it, so I'm definitely gonna see what his style is like. Because it always interests me when to see how an actor directs a movie, because he's done so many different movies. He's done comedies, he's done action, he's done high fantasy, right? He's Aragorn. He is the king. He's done post-apocalyptic movies like The Road. He's done musicals. So like, and this movie was crazy. If you've ever seen Crimes of the Future, that's a movie where they use like psychopathy and like sexual tension going back and forth, where it walks that line between like exploitive and, but I mean, it's sometimes you need things that make you feel uncomfortable because that's how you learn about yourself, or you learn about your boundaries, or more about what other people. The best way to learn about the world is understanding where people draw their lines, right? Because that's how you learn how to interact with them. so that you don't step over their lines. But then when you learn that a line you have is so far skewed from somebody else's, that's where you start to see like how different we are as human beings. So that's, in its essence, that's good. But let me know if you've seen this movie actually, which is The Dead Don't Hurt. Uh, Everything Vigo does is far. Oh, and he composed the music for it? Yeah. Apparently he just did everything for this movie. So it deserves to get watched. He put a lot of work into it. Yeah, let me know if you've seen it, what you thought about it, if it was really, really good, or if it was, it ended up being um something that you felt was lacking in areas or work in others, right? Like we went and we saw the mystery of the ungently warfare in theaters. And it was really good, but it's just violence porn. Like it's literally just a movie about people being violent in cool, fun ways, telling a story. It's all like Inglorious Bastards, right? Where it's five guys that are just like on top of machine guns blowing people away. It's like Rambo. It's like but it's crazy because it's a real story about something that happened that we just recently found out about. Um, so it's I love I love when things can be like that. But yeah, visual idea, man. Yeah, let me know if you saw this and what you thought about it because I'm gonna be excited to see it when I can. Drop a like, subscribe. Uh, Let me know what you don't like watching the movie too, because I'm interested to see because there's some people that love a movie and they don't care if anything's in it, and then there's people that they won't watch a movie if there's blood in it. They won't watch a movie if there's violence or cursing in it. They have to it has to be within a certain parameter inside of their box. Um, but yeah, most importantly, as always, do something kind for somebody.